9th, 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Ready to rock and roll. T-Talks, T-Talks, T-Talks. T-Talks, T-Talks.
Thank you for listening to the TTalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Ooh, good evening. My name is Alex DeLuca, hanging out over here in Naples with T-Talks tonight.
And this is Rafael Rodriguez Jr. from Hollywood, Florida.
Hello to you, Ralph. Hello to all the listeners, to everybody from Florida to across the country. Look, we're getting down to T-Talk topics every night. It's 10 p.m. once again on the dot. We are live for you, March 9th, 2021, live, and hey, we're here.
We're kicking it. We're kicking it. Another
Kicking
episode coming down.
Coming down, and we're going to give it to you just the way we did the last time. We're going to get on and off topic, going to have some fun with each other, and, you know, let's see what we can learn. There's so many topics. We make so many episode ideas, but what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, you know, we're trying to keep on the theme of sales and sales management, and you know, one of the things that matter of fact, I just had a client that you know, we were basically talking about the same thing. Is that you know, I want to grow my business. What do I need to do? I go, how many salespeople do you have? I don't have a sales team. I go, so you're the only salesperson? Yes. And one of the things he told me was that, you know, and the one thing I hate is, I hate going and seeing customers.
This is what the guy said?
Yeah, this is what the guy said. He hates going to see customers. I go, so what you try to do? I try to sell them on the phone, and if I can't, and they don't sound too good, I just blow them off.
That's fantastic. I wish I was that good and made that much money where I didn't care that much about.
There's a reason why he's reaching out.
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
I think that's kind of one of the things that you might not want to do. You know, it's
blowing potential clients off?
Yeah, it might not be a good idea. To go ahead and just blow off people and
I wouldn't practice that.
Huh?
I said I wouldn't practice that.
Well, and then he wants to make sure that the people he goes to, that they actually buy. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, well,
that's awesome.
There's only.
How's that working?
Well, again, that's part of the reason why we are we're helping
why
them
he's
out.
reaching out and why we're helping out. And it's all about helping out. As many people you could help out. That's why we're doing this. We're used to training classes, hiring, interviewing on a daily basis, but we have Tea Talks where
So
we
we're
get to
gonna
share
so
free
we're gonna
information.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the 10 sales training ideas that increase team readiness. If you have a team, if you don't, then you might want to consider it at one point or another. Hopefully sooner than later. The last thing you want is run out of revenue and then not have enough money to even pay your own self. So, um,
That happens.
well, there's only one way to grow, and the only way to grow is to hopefully repeat whatever success you have and
All
work
right.
on the deficiencies that you have. That hopefully you can bring in people on the team that complements you. So you might be great at operation, but you might suck at sales. You might bring somebody in to help you with the sales, and you focus on operation, and you got a win-win situation. Because if you suck at operation, you suck at sales, you suck at everything, you know, that's hopefully the one thing that you don't suck at is at getting people that actually help the organization be fruitful.
No, and that's right on topic with what we're going to discuss. So, when we're talking about your organization and that typical sales professional, I'd say it looks, much different than it did about 20 years ago. So it goes without saying that you need to train them to a certain standard. They need to know a lot of information. Is your sales training keeping up with the times? Like, are you adjusting to post COVID times? Or is your sales strategy different? What do you tell your sales reps to enter a home that you didn't tell them last year? When COVID's going on, everybody's skeptical at this time. You're making sure you're wearing your mask out of respect to everybody, and it's just those little things that count. At the same time, but the training, ongoing training, doing things more online, and using the platform Zoom, has shot up with usage lately with COVID.
Well, and I don't know how much this is a little bit of old school, but I'm a firm believer of the Six Sigma type of mentality. And have you heard of the Six Sigma?
No, what's that?
Well, the Six Sigma mentality, there's different belts, and it basically came from I believe it was the Chinese, I believe is the Japanese. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically you always are improving the process. There's always a way to improve process. Always.
Always.
Always. So, with that said, you should always look at if you don't have a sales training, you should put one together. And once you have one together, you should kind of fill it out and say, well, if I'm a brand new guy and I'm listening to this, is this enough information to make them dangerous and be able to do what I need them to do, which is sell? And if you can't answer that question, then it's probably, you might want to revamp it or have somebody externally look at it and say, where can we help you?
No, yeah, of course, and that's where it comes to breaking everything down to a system. Like, if you have a system that you could track, from your sales process to your marketing process to all the scripts that you use in your business, it's easy to track, and you could always get better in every category as long as that category exists, if that makes sense. Like, every step of the system.
Well, and there are a lot of systems out there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Of course, some are more expensive than others. I personally have gone through the Sandler training. I have done the action selling. I've done the value selling associates. And what happens is that once you go through different training modules, you kind of get you get a better feel, because everybody has their different approach. Everybody has some similarities, but what it does, it gives you a general consensus of what sales should be about, and hopefully you'll assimilate some of that information and put it into content that you can share with your new trainees, your new potential go-getters for the company.
I love and I hate video training. I hate the video training that, you can tell was filmed in, I don't know, what are we in 2021? All right, so you could tell it was filmed in like 2004. I know my video quality might not be the best as Ralph's right now, but you get the gist. When you turn it on, the guy's wearing like the old brown tie, and he starts teaching you how to sell something, and that company just gave it to you. As easy as it is us recording right now, you can put new, fresh daily content, have weekly updates, and they can be quick, impactful videos that you can send out to your employees and your sales reps. And at the same time, we could do the same thing for marketing and branding nowadays. It's easy it is to write or type out an email, but you can shoot a quick video at them with commodity or specific information in the background to what you're selling. But this day and age, what you could do and and how you could train on the internet and using the webcams and these great microphones we're using right now, and hopefully the audio is coming in tonight. But it's huge. Like I'm blown away. Like, how have I not done this before? I'm closing people I've never met in my life business in the same setup that we're talking, and it's pretty neat.
Well, and here's the top 10. I'll go through it quickly so you can get a gist of it, and then we'll try to break it down, each of them. But the first thing you need to do, make an assessment, see where you're at, examine your win and loss report, leverage peer learning, put sales rep in the buyer's shoes, provide highlights, industry highlights and news and trends, keep the millennium in mind. There's a lot of millennials that are buying out there.
Good luck with Gen Z in like 5 years buying stuff.
Practice responding to objections. Do a sales process deep dive into it. Do a pre-boarding, and last but not least, a sales manager mastery session. So, hopefully we get through all this. If not, we'll definitely continue on to the next day. But let's go to the first one. Make an assessment.
No, guys, this is huge. So, these are 10 sales training tips, ideas, for 2021. Make an assessment, part of your sales training. We're assessing basically everything, the sales organization from top to bottom, from your sales reps to the marketing. And in doing so, you uncover a lot in your whole organization.
Well, and trying to get back in track here, one of the things that you're hoping is that, we talked about it yesterday, is that hopefully you get somebody that walks in the door and you just give them the business card, the shirt, and say, go ahead and start selling for the organization, and they'll bring in, $1 million. The reality, the chances of that happening is going to be very, very minute.
And you're lucky. Yeah, you'd be lucky. Not everybody could be as lucky to have that employee just jumps right in and says, all right, I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Well, what you want to do during the onboarding process is to kind of hopefully get an assessment of where they stand and put their strengths.
No, yeah, that's true. It starts from the interviewing process and the onboarding process.
And with the onboarding process, again, you're looking at the strength and the weakness, concentrate on the weakness, work on the strength, and provide the necessary tool for them to be successful. Either you get external videos to show them, the content of your products, what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to convey, either by exterior or, like you said, you get on the video camera, and you can do it on your phone and
put on a show.
Do a 15-minute powwow, a powwow informational clip that you can provide to the salespeople, and just think about it. Even though you're not there, that video could be played over and over and over and
over again, and that's huge because I can't tell you how many times that how many books I have in my closet or the notebooks composition notebooks and, flip over notepads filled with notes. And at the same time, as technology came more around and more advanced and the iPhone started popping up, like, I don't know, 8 years ago in business, all you have to do is hit the record button in class and learning, and the same thing. And you can always record and just to, add to what you just said, it's always there. You could always listen to it over and over and over and over again. That's one thing that, we're implementing on in our new sales training processes is just touching base and short video clips of information that at the time, you might forget to tell somebody, but it's huge. Having all that stuff written down and available to you is awesome.
And it takes us right next to your win and loss report. You should always do it as a professional salesperson, you should be doing this already. Why do you think you lost that sale? Was it because of value? I don't want to hear price, because if you talk about price, that means that you didn't create value. If you didn't create value, what value you did not create? Because a lot of times people don't necessarily buy from the cheapest; they buy from the people they like. And why weren't you competitive enough to be in the middle of the pack? That means that something didn't go as planned. And if you're one of those high sellers that do close on high volume and high dollar amount, well, why didn't you close? We know that you're not going to close every single one, but this is a great tool to go and talk to your salespeople and try to get feedback as to what happened. And I always know when you have a good salesperson and a bad salesperson. The bad salesperson is going to come up with 100 different excuses, the reason why they didn't buy, and the good salesperson is going to say, you know what, maybe if we would have taken this approach, it might have had worked. And the reason why
always looking for another angle. Like, there's so many angles. The closed-minded person, the bad sales rep, like you just mentioned, they don't see it.
No.
What other angle could I have took? Like, what could I have done different in the introduction, or maybe I didn't build enough rapport. I only spent 5 minutes and we dived right into the topic. Every one of my losses, and I still lose on a daily basis. I lost out in probably 1 or 2 roofs the past 1 or 2 days, but I still closed one. I'm always thinking, like, what could I have done differently? At the end of the day, there are people that will go for the lowest price. Can't do nothing about it. Can't do not a darn thing about it.
Yeah, and running right along, one of the things that we use a lot, I use a lot, is that I use leverage peer learning, and basically you put a veteran with a rookie, and especially in the room, catchphrases, do some role plays. I do include more of my veterans than the rookies. So what happens is that you start getting bullets to combat objections, and some objections are they're pretty much repetitive. And the first thing I do anywhere and anything I sell is that I try to always find the top 5, 6 different objections and really learn how to overcome that objection. So I only work on 5 or 6. The top 5.
That's it. And another thing with the peer-to-peer learning too, it's like, when you're able to bring your salespeople together and always go over the high rollers, and your old school guys, your senior sales reps they're the high rollers, and you give an opportunity to be like, okay, you praise them, you give them high fives that they did a good job the day before, but what was working for you? Why did you get those leads? And if you had a certain system in place, as easy as going back to 5 or 10 different topics for them to go ahead and say, this is working for me. I was really good at selling myself or selling the company, or I was really good at building rapport. But to get that from your peers' mouth on a daily basis, when we talk about networking with your peers, who's the best in the business, that in your business, in your office, get with them and basically mimic it, copy it, find out what they're doing and mimic it.
Well, and this is where role play does such a great to the system, the learning system. Number one, you're putting a salesperson in the buyer's shoes. That's number one. And number two, you got the peer learning. So you're actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone, doing more role playing within the organization. And it doesn't have to have 10 salespeople. Just 2 salespeople is fine. As a matter of fact, bring your operation manager if you don't have that many salespeople, and have a different person be the customer, and just hear him out, see what he has to say, see how well prepared he is, and then hopefully whatever they're doing there is typically what they're doing outside.
100%. Moving right along now on T-Talk Topics, we have highlight industry trends and news. Anything that's going on right now. We're in the roofing business. There's a lot going on in roofing right now.
A lot.
From roofing, shingles.
Shingles.
Where are the shingles? The whole entire roofing industry is on a hold. Been in this 8 years. Been working in this industry hard for 8 years. I've never seen anything like it, Ralph. And this is, I'm telling homeowners, go ahead, Google it right now. Another company says you can get this shingle. Okay, Google shingle shortage in Florida.
Well,
Google shingle Florida in the southeast United States.
Well, and one of the things that we're doing to combat that situation is that we are we try to get a color scheme from them, and then we try to find the color that's available, and that's those are their choices. It's working most of the times, and if they're looking for an off color that can't be found, we tell
There's
them,
no reds, greens, or blues right now, ladies and gentlemen.
well, and I tell them, look, you got two choices. You can wait till wherever it shows up. I'm not even going to sign. We're not even going to do a contract because, there's just a shortage. Why am I going to? Not only do I not want to do a contract because the prices are going up by 20 to 25% within 3 months. So
isn't that crazy? There every like 15 days we're seeing a 3 to 7% increase in pricing.
So why do I want to hold back and wait and guarantee this person, a year later the same price? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that disjustice to the company.
And this goes on into educating your sales force, and no matter what service or what you're selling, there's trends, there's things happening that are huge to your business. Find out what they are, keep them in touch, talk about them, and so your employees and your sales reps know at the same time. Delivering training with the millennials in mind. Listen, there is a whole generation of people out there that is wanting to get to work. And this one, it comes down to basically, how was I going to say, to not dumb it down, but make it as layman's terms as possible, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish. And we talk about giving those bullets, it's enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, and you definitely, that generation gap, one generation it's all about bullets, and the other generation might be about being very detailed, and that could change that's part of your assessment when you're talking to them initially. Everybody has their own different flair, but you got to keep in mind, and that's part, you want to be able to connect with that individual regardless of Millennium, Generation X, Generation Y, whatever it is. But we know that the people are buying today, the buying power is shifting towards the Millennium. I mean, 10,000 people from the baby boomers are retiring every day. 10,000.
10,000 retiring every day. Quick stat, by 2025, about 75% of the workforce will be a millennial. That's a scary thing, man.
Well, and I mean, you're in Naples and Fort Myers. There's a lot of retirees,
Oh, yeah.
compared to somebody in the South Florida market or in a big market. Know your demographics, know your avatar. If you don't know what an customer avatar is, go ahead and search, and we just did an episode about that. But definitely you need to be, you need to be in tune with what's going on, and Millennium is the new trend.
No, it is, and as I read on right now about our topic, it's just funny. It's it's just getting, I don't know. It's crazy. Most millennials prefer informal, bite-sized, micro-learning content that can be assessed on demand wherever and whenever it might be needed. It's definitely changing. I'd have to say.
And we just, the next one is practice responding to objection. And we literally just talked about this a few seconds ago.
All the time. It's huge. The role playing, and we're going to be as redundant as possible on all the important topics, which if you're listening to T-Talks, all these topics are important. We're going to say them in and out on a daily basis, and they all jive. They all go together. They all coexist, whether you're a salesperson, you're running your business, you're an entrepreneur, you aspire to be a salesperson, you're going to school. These are best tips, good practices that you can apply to everyday life. So practicing in response to objections, we can get fun with this one. We're selling stuff, or you're trying to ask a girl out on a date. You're gonna practice those objections.
Well, and again, you can always find the top 5, top 10, and really practice those top 10 objections. And if you're really on point, because have you ever heard of the expression that they can smell your fear? They can. I mean, the minute you're not on point, you start kind of thinking what you're having to say. You start losing credibility. And on yesterday's episode, we shared the fact that how trustworthy are the salespeople.
Ooh, I think it was like 3%.
3%. So the minute they ask you
right there with
question,
lawyers,
and you start like, do you think you're getting closer to the 1, or you're getting closer to the 100% credibility?
0, 1.
So you're going the wrong way. So
wrong answer.
So and let me tell you, it's better to say that you don't know than come up with some story that it doesn't even make sense.
Like, look, and I'm so like, if I know I don't know, like, I'm proud. I'm quick. I'm like, I don't know. Let me find out. I'm not going to sit there and be like, that's maybe, but no, I don't know at all. That's a great question. And hold on one sec. Let's find out.
Ralph!
Ralph, what's up, brother?
Hey,
Depends on topic. Slow down, Ralph. No, I'm not calling you all the time.
I'm just
Ralph,
kidding.
what's up, man? I need some advice. What are we doing here?
All right, next one.
What is it? Let's see.
The sales process deep dive.
I'm gonna have to get some glasses here for these nighttime episodes.
Come on. What? You see my glasses?
Let's see. Where you at? Oh, my dad just went to the VA. He picked up his new bifocals today.
You know what? I was really proud to be talking to. That was a system engineer for a large lead generation company, and when you're on point and you have process in place, and people can actually tell that you know what you're talking about, and we got a little kudos because we were literally on point in regards to the avatar and breaking down our sales process. We have it broken down where you can actually see it in a flow chart, and this is what happens, and when this comes in, this happens, this happens, this happened, and if this happens, this happened, and we break it down to we micro run it to the point where no matter any time that person asked a question, and whichever the sales process it was, we were on point. And the reason why we're on point is that we've been practicing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And hopefully, you do that within your sales organization or within your company, that okay, when I get a lead, what's going to happen? And who's going to call? And if they don't answer, what do we do? And so on and so forth. Because, there's a driven force that should be within your sales process that you should have a matrix on. And if you don't know, go ahead and ask the question in our comments below.
Man.
might bring it out tomorrow.
It's funny you say this, because as I think about all the different processes, and you're like, if this happens, then that happened. Like, I can picture the processes in the back of my mind, because we've lived it, we've done it, we've rehearsed it, we've trained it, and we've taught it, and we've done it again. We've tweaked it added it, applied it, tweaked it, done it again over and over and over again. And, it's input from us, from each other, and from other sales reps that make the system where it's at now. It works. Don't fix it is true to an extent. But, we're ever evolving. 2021 post-COVID, we're making it happen. Let's get to the next topic.
All right, next topic. Get the new reps ready sooner than pre-boarding.
Shake them.
One of the things I do is that I have a 89-page training manual that as soon as they sign all the paperwork, I give it to them. I say, by the time we start, you better have known, and I will definitely test them the first day to see how much they know. And what that does, it just makes your onboarding a lot quicker.
It's just, assessing. We're going back to one of the first two topics we talked tonight. And it's all about, quick quizzes right away. Don't wait. Knowledge quizzes, simulations, observe, manage, role play, all of it. It's getting them going quick. There's no dang 4 week onboarding process. You're going to lose money. Get your onboarding 5 to 7 days. Have them shadow your top reps, learn from the best, and give them the bolts, and then we will learn together.
Well,
you will be successful.
This is where you find out how committed they are to the process, and if you got them all hyped up to be part of the team, they want to be able to be prepared. It's almost like a football player on its first day. You think that they don't work out prior to the first day of training?
Listen, if you're on Tom Brady's team, you better. He's going to chew your butt out. If you're on my team, you better. I'm going to chew your butt out.
Well, and last but not least, in closing,
put managers into action with mastery sessions. Explain, please.
Well, you got to train the trainer, okay? Especially if you have a sales manager. If you don't have a sales manager, typically the one of the owners should be the sales manager. Go out there and try to help your team. You can't expect other people to do the same thing you do because you're much vested within the company to be successful. But you got to give that hand to that individual. And the best way of giving a hand is by you don't have to be completely, engulfed with all the information, but man, just do a little bit. And if you don't do it, at least allow the person to participate with it, and external training, and there's plenty of trainings out there.
There really is, and we both been on the same page. It's all about promotion from within. I hate bringing managers in to help run an existing team, but if you can train that trainer, and if your systems are so tight that you can easily train on how to train, that's you won. Hands down, simplified, ready to go. Like Ralph was just saying, you can even look outside the box for other people in the industry. Like, I can't tell me how many people I've watched pitched on YouTube from across the planet on different products. And then you have your sales manager that, one, he's leading from the front, which we talked about yesterday and probably today too, and making things happen. And that same person could run the impacts on a daily, a weekly basis. 2021 post-COVID, you can do this online, a 2-minute quick impact video. Boom, here you go for the day. This is what worked for the top guys yesterday. Call Larry on his iPhone. Hey Larry, can you make a quick video for the team? Tell the team what you did. Boom, send it out. WhatsApp, text message. Let them know.
All right, with that said, give me a second.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us, and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will T-Talk later.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex DeLuca. Half hour went by so fast. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. I'm out from Naples.
And this is Raphael from Hollywood, Florida. We say good night.